Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the committee for asking us to present our work, which is in progress. Basically, today I'm going to describe for you the work that's underway for this project, which is an implementation project of an HIV prevention program aimed at Cambodian female entertainment and sex workers who use amphetamine-type stimulants, ATS. We are basically testing a 12-week conditional caste transfer intervention, followed by a 4-week cognitive behavioral aftercare group. I'll be showing you some process data from the ongoing trial among these women, including some of our data on the attendance at the conditional caste transfer urine screening visits, as well as attendance at the aftercare group. I'll also describe for you the microenterprise opportunity that's provided for women who either stop using ATS or women who were not using to begin with. So we're including all women who are part of our program who don't use ATS in this extra economic opportunity. Just briefly for background, female entertainment and sex workers in Cambodia. It's a complex name. Years ago, after the passage of the prohibition of human trafficking laws, the term female sex worker is not really used anymore in the country, and only the word entertainment worker is used. But most of these women are involved in transactional sex. They work in multiple service-related venues, including bars, beer gardens, karaoke parlors, massage parlors, and freelance. After the passage of the anti-trafficking laws, all of the brothels were shut down and prevention services were reduced to women engaged in what used to be called direct sex work. So we use female entertainment and sex workers, or FESW, as a way of including everyone. There's also a lot of women in Cambodia involved in entertainment and sex work, and it's grown probably quadrupled over the last 10 years to over 45,000 women involved in this line of work. We know this because they're actually enumerated. Amphetamine-type stimulant is a problem in Cambodia. Women in Cambodia are actually female entertainment and sex workers are 13 times more likely to be HIV positive compared to women of reproductive age. They use ATS as a power drug. It assists them with working longer hours, and they think seeing more clients. But we have shown in 2 studies now that ATS use is associated with greater sexual risk, including more sexual partners, higher rates of unprotected sex, increased incident STIs, and prevalent HIV. So intervening on ATS is what we believe is a good it's a potential way to reduce HIV risk in these women. It is important to note that HIV risk has reduced substantially in Cambodia over the last 15 plus years, and so, you know, as we identify these bubbles, it's important to find more ways to intervene with them. ATS use is primarily used as pills. It's called Yama. Methamphetamine does exist in crystal or ice form, and it's almost exclusively non-injection use. This presents a problem in Cambodia where HIV prevention programming is highly siloed and focused principally on either reducing sexual risk among women or men and reducing injection risk. And so there's very little, if any, programming towards non-injection drug use risk. There are no prevention programs aimed at non-injection drug use, and there are very punitive laws and policies that target both the women and drug users and that make prevention delivery very challenging for this population and then contribute to a lot of difficulty in reaching women who are at very high risk. And these problems have not improved, actually, since the passage of the law. So the CIPI program, what we call the Cambodia Integrated HIV and Drug Prevention Intervention Program's goal is to reduce these intersecting risks of ATS and high-risk sexual exposure. Our implementing partners it's a huge multi-sectoral group in Cambodia that includes both academic, NGO, Cambodian health and civil service groups, and a microenterprise organization. The CIPI program is built on an existing platform that's already widely disseminated towards entertainment workers called SMARTgirl. We have a prospective stepped wedge randomized clustered trial. It's actually already been rolled out in all 10 provinces, which are the clusters. Our outcome evaluation is repeated 4 times, and we will get out data from all the clusters, both before and after the intervention, over a 4-year period. Women who are eligible are either engaged in transactional sex using ATS. They include entertainment workers and both what we used to call direct and indirect sex workers, so they can be working in a beer garden or at a guest house. And our target sample size is 1,200 women in our initial outcome evaluation, and we've actually completed our 10 and enrolled 1,078. We did, before we implemented the trial, conduct formative work, which included qualitative interviews with women who were using ATS. They helped to inform the CCT, or conditional cash transfer incentive schedule, and to address some barriers like whether we should provide transportation or we should give them transportation money. And they also helped support the design of our aftercare group content, which includes a prize bowl to incentivize attendance. The lucky draw is maybe the most popular thing that we have, and some really interesting meditation and relaxation exercises, and how they wanted to create their own social support system, which would follow the CCT program. The CCT Protocol is a 12-week program. Participants receive $2 for each urine sample that's negative for ATS and any other methamphetamine metabolites. The urine samples that are positive for ATS are handled in a very non-judgmental manner. Women are encouraged to return, and they can still earn at their next visit the incentive. And it's an escalating incentive whereby women can receive a bonus at the end of each week. The aftercare group includes a prize bowl, as I mentioned, and a cognitive behavioral skill. There's 4 sessions. It's based on the matrix model. There's some experiential exercises, for instance, an ATS refusal, role play, and some mindfulness exercises. We have these really beautiful fans that have mindfulness exercises on them, and they've been they're pretty cool, actually. Uh-oh. Eligibility for participating in SCCT occurs after we do our first baseline outcome evaluation, and women who score on 4 or more on the assist and test positive for ATS are eligible, and women who are eligible for aftercare have to have attended and have at least 18 urine screening visits, regardless of their results. They have to have attended 18 of the sessions. We are measuring the following outcomes, including both self-reported and biomarkers of sexual risk and ATS use. We're measuring HIV infection, and we do have a microenterprise opportunity, which I'll describe in a minute. These are the process indicators, and this is actually just data from the first 8 provinces where CCT has been done, finished. So we've enrolled in all 10, but 2 are still in process. And in the first 8 provinces, 193 of 219 eligible women. You can see here the sort of cascade of women who accepted CCT appointment, enrolled, the women who were aftercare eligible and who attended aftercare and attended 3 or more aftercare sessions. So we're actually quite pleased with these results so far, but it's important. These cascade pictures show you how many people we need to reach. So we still, need to why are we not getting more women in? After women complete the AC, they're eligible to participate in this microenterprise opportunity, and also women who tested negative to start with are eligible to participate in the microenterprise opportunity, and we've teamed up with 2 local microenterprise organizations in Cambodia. And this is a structured program that includes a 3-day financial literacy training that's tailored to the local Cambodian context, and teaches folks how to, keep track of accounts, and there's even a really nice sort of how do I describe it? It's what are your goals in life type exercise. The financial literacy program has proven to be extremely popular. Many women claim that they've never been asked before what they wanted to do in their life, you know. The women who are eligible are, like I said, who've been negative for the final 2 weeks of all the AC sessions, for the final 2 weeks of CCT and attended all the AC sessions, and women who were previously negative. And we're collecting both qualitative and quantitative data to assess the impact of this microenterprise opportunity. This is our cascade among the microenterprise, and this is data really just came in last week. Of the women who were eligible, only 65% consented to participate in the microenterprise. That meant they had to go to a 3-day training. And of those, of all of the women eligible, 58% actually completed the 3-day training. And then we see this big drop-off. Women get informed, and many decide to not apply for loans. The success of the training is still palpable, but we think that this is a really important information about why women don't apply for loans. And we also restrict the loans to women. They're not allowed to offer the loan to their male partner who wants to buy a new moto. A lot of the women who apply for loans get them, and we've had a very good return rate. We have, out of all the women so far, the 27 women who've received a loan, of those that are due, we've only had 2 women who are late right now, I think of 20 women. There's a lot of challenges in this project. It's very difficult to recruit the highest risk female sex workers. They are hidden, and in some areas more hidden than others. And so across the provinces, we have some variability, but in some provinces in particular, a lot of challenges. In one province, in Kampong Speu, for instance, we only found 8. We estimate that about 30% of female entertainment and sex workers use ATS, so we had a certain target for each place. And in some places we reached more, like in Phnom Penh, but in some outlying areas we didn't. And we conduct these orientation workshops in every province right when we kick it off in that province because it's done sequentially. It's a stepped wedge trial. And there's a lot of engagement with provincial authorities, health authorities, community groups. We have the National Authority on Combating Drug Abuse. So there's like half the rooms full of regular people, and then half the rooms full of people in uniforms, and then, you know, it's a really complex situation. And in some places, women have more or less freedom when we've had outreach workers put in jail, and some places, SMARTgirl and outreach workers can't even talk openly about drugs because there's this funny law in Cambodia where in your kampong, you can be reported by your neighbors. So we run into problems. The other thing is we've had a very surprising finding of huge amounts of alcohol use. I mean, we know that women's livelihood is tied up to alcohol use, but 73% of our women have CIS scores of greater than 11 or higher, and it's a very worrisome finding among these women. I'd like to conclude by suggesting that we think that so far our data shows that this type of intervention is feasible and acceptable. Cash in Cambodia is used for everything. Children pay their teachers to go to school. So it's not a foreign idea. It's actually fits into the context there. We've also shown that microenterprise for Cambodian women is feasible. The first few groups that we went to would not loan to women who were prostitutes, but we've found people who are, and very devoted both to health and to women's social mobility. So that's been a success. The financial literacy training is extremely popular and maybe something that we want to test on its own for, in another context. So to coin the words of my colleague who's coming next, this is a work in progress and there are more results pending. I do want to acknowledge all of my co-authors and co-investigators, both in San Francisco and in Cambodia, and funding from NIDA, and especially the women who participate in our studies. Without them, none of this would be possible. Thank you.
Great.